Hey guys, what's going on? Got a bit of a windy day up here today, but it's not raining, so that's always a good start. We are doing a bit of fiddling with this exhaust. I think that's going to be the next project on the list. So I'll put a bit of an extension on there, and then we'll get our other bit, and that'll sort of sit there, and it'll be garbage, but you know, it'll work to a degree. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Yeah, I managed to sneak a bit of a weekend to myself, so I might be able to actually do some stuff now. It's been pretty flat out around here. Yeah, what else have I done? Nothing. You haven't really missed anything. Nothing's changed. I went to the local hardware store and I got some shackles for the thing. Turns out you need to buy the biggest shackles the hardware store has to get over the actual thickness of this webbing. It's so wide down through here. So they're, I don't know, I can't remember what the tonnage is on them, but like you could pick this whole machine up with one of them easily, and like a lot more. But yeah, that's what fits, so that's what we're doing. Haven't really looked at the spool valve or the not going down issue, so that's just as it is at the moment. I'm thinking I might be flowing the spool valve the wrong way. I don't know if that would cause this problem, but that's the only sort of thing I can think of. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not real sure on how these actually... I know there's a shuttle valve in there and there's a relief valve, but the actual layout, if you knew the layout, you could work out quite easily which way it's supposed to go. So I'm going to go on the interwebs and at least just try and see photos of, you know, old style spool valve, see if we can, yeah, sort of match it to something. Yeah, that's all I've got to with that. The other engine, it's still sitting there. I haven't touched it. I'm itching to dig into that, but I'm like, no, I've got to fix a few more projects like this one. This has got to be up and running before I really start moving on, because I need this to work on them. So yeah, we'll get this exhaust done, then we'll wire it, get it all starting and running properly, and then somewhere in between I'll look at that. I've got a water pump here for it. I've got new hoses here for it, so hopefully they'll keep the coolant in it. Yeah, I think that's probably really it to get this thing to operational sort of status. Not perfect, but you know, so it can be used. I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's really it. So yeah, well, I'm not going to video all this, because this is just going to be a lot of set up, tack it, look at it, measure it, set up, tack it, and just over and over and over again. So I'll show you highlights of what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and yeah, then we'll go from there. So I'll bring you back in a sec when I've got something interesting for you to look at. Alright, I'm back. Gluing a few more bits just temporarily together. So the idea is we'll bolt this up, and then there's one good tack there, we'll be able to bend it to where we want. There's got to be a fair bit to fill there, but no, you know, that's what it is. Now, the rig is a 140 amp just lunchbox arc welder, and I think it's a 7 or 8 kVA generator. So this means I don't have to drag everything up to the house, and also too, I don't pay for the power at the house, so it's, you know, not fair for me to pinch it, sort of thing. So this is a good compromise. This is the first time I've used this setup. I picked that up a couple of months ago, off a fellow I went to school with, so that worked out alright. But yeah, it seems to be going okay. Like, I've never welded with a generator before. The generator seems to be, you know, coping okay. I was a bit worried. I was also a bit worried because that does have like a brain box, I suppose you'd say, in that welder. And, you know, being not a pure sine wave welder, like a standard one. Yeah, is it going to work with that? But it seems to be coping okay. I haven't really had any issues so far, but I've only just really been tack welding it all together, so it's rough, it's ready, it looks horrid, but yeah, it's just going to have to do. You can't buy this part. I wish you could, but alas, you can't. So anyway, I'll screw this back on and we'll see where it is. I'll drop the pipe in the top and I'll be able to use that just to bend it to where I want it. Put a few more tacks. I'll probably end up, like there's a big gap there, I'll have to MIG this together. But that's fine, I've got a MIG up here, it's just not at this house, so I'll probably run down the road and blaze it together with a MIG and bring it back and screw it on, and then we can run it without having to wear like ear protection, and the neighbours won't hate me anymore. That's the biggest thing. I don't care that it's loud, but the neighbours, yeah, they're only just over there. they're going to be a little bit annoyed at me running this and diagnosing it and fiddling around with it. So, yeah. I think that's about all I've got to fill you in on the moment. I did notice something, speaking of filling you in. I've cleaned it up mostly, but all around the outlet on the manifold was very oily on this thing, so she'll probably be okay when we run it and give it, plenty of work and get some hours on it. It might be okay, or it might just be a bit of a slobber. Either way, it's just a crane. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to pull it apart and put rings in it, unless it gets really bad or something. But we'll see. Yeah, I did notice that. I was wondering where all this oil, like, I picked something up and I'm like, where's all this black oil coming from? But yeah, it was out of the actual exhaust. But it's interesting, out of all these Fordsons I got here, that's the only one that does it. They don't seem to be real prone to it compared to other things. So, anywho, I'll screw this on and I'll bring you back. Alright, I'm back. We do have, well, some type of exhaust. This is an absolute nightmare, this thing. The problem I'm having is you can't, because it's a cast piece, you can't tack it and then just be able to adjust it a little bit. If you put any pressure on the tacks, they just break off. So I've got it to where at least it'll go up through the bonnet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that into town and weld it with the MIG. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, I was going to end the other video there, but I thought, well, there's no point stopping it halfway through. So yeah, following weekend now. And I've got the GoPro, so I'm filming on my phone again. So yeah, I don't know how well this is going to turn out, but we'll see. Right, we have a muffler for it. It's not a factory muffler. It's not supposed to be. It's just something that'll work. The elbow is welded up. I think I still need to do a few adjustments on it, but it'll be a lot easier to adjust because these two parts are cast. It'll be a lot easier to trim it through here, and then I can actually bend it a bit because that's only mild steel pipe. And yeah, that'll just be a lot easier now. But we'll see. If it goes through the hole, I might leave it for the moment and we'll get back to this later, because I don't want to spend days and days and days just fiddling around with exhaust, because it doesn't really matter. Funny thing, those exhaust manifold gaskets, they are flammable. They will burn if you get them hot enough. So yeah, that's probably buggered, but oh well. It's going to come off again later, so I'll put a new one on then. Alright, so I'll screw this on and we'll see how it looks. It might have moved a bit when it was being welded, so it could be all wonky. It might not be, but we'll see. Alright, I'll bring you back in a sec. Alright, well, it's on. And as you can see, it's definitely not straight, but it's on. So, yeah. That needs to come up a bit further. So what I'll do is I'll put a cut through the mild steel pipe back to here and just tweak it up a bit and weld it back up. Might have to put a couple of cuts maybe. Because I was trying to do the same sort of thing when I was welding it all together, but the welds onto this cast are very brittle, so you can't bend at all. it just snaps the weld instead of bending it. So yeah, now I've got this bit of mild steel in the middle, I can work with that. But I think I'll just leave it for the moment because it's just, yeah, not a high priority. At least I can run it now with you know, some type of exhaust on it. And there's heaps of other things to do, like wiring and water pump and, you know, all the other fun stuff. So I might get onto that maybe today, but I think I'll finish this video up here. Just give this a little bit extra closing to that other video. So yeah, I'll see what I think about doing next. You'll see. Whatever I feel like, you'll see. Alright, so have fun everyone. Like, share, subscribe, you know, all the usual stuff that everyone's supposed to say, blah blah blah. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.